Welcome to the third module for the logic course. The first two modules were each 1 week in length. The first one was probably pretty simple. It wasn't a ton of work or anything. The second one was a bit more, and so that one may have seemed a little bit tight for some of you. But this one will be 2 weeks in length, and I would say, we have a fair amount of work. There will be a lot of definitions and terms, but essentially, this will be a module that you have a little more time, which can be both a blessing and a curse. It can be a blessing in the form that, you don't have to feel rushed, but at the same time, it can be a little bit of a curse if you are worried about completing everything on time. It can be a curse if you're worried if you let it get away from you, if you don't complete the work as required. Now, the topic of this one is basically getting into distinguishing argument types. Essentially, what we do is we first off learn that, not everything is an argument, and we begin to recognize, is there an argument? We look for premises and conclusions, and is there actually an argument occurring, which is part of what we did with the first unit, or the second module. But this time we're going to get into, and once we decide that, it is an argument, we can divide all arguments into two types, either deductive or inductive. And then we can determine if the inferential claim is good or bad, or valid or strong, or, valid or strong would be the terms, depending upon if it's deductive or inductive. And then we would look at the truth claim to see if it is what we call sound, unsound, or cogent or uncogent. And so that is basically what we're going to be discussing over the next couple weeks. The textbook does not make quite as big of a distinction between deductive and inductive. It looks for deductively valid and inductively strong arguments, but doesn't really get down into the distinctions between valid and invalid, strong, weak. So I have put together a lesson. I have a lesson from the previous instructor that will be on the page as well, so you should go through both of those lessons. And then we will have some work from the book, and I'll also give you some problems that somewhat relate to more of what I will do my lesson on, the one about deductive versus inductive. There is one bookkeeping issue I wanted to address, and I will also put an announcement out, but I'm going to change one deadline this module, and that is for the discussion board. The discussion board is largely an opportunity for you to look at some logic issue and discuss it. And what we need everybody to do an initial post, but then we also need a second post. So what I'm going to do is, because with this last module, I'm actually talking on Monday, and I would say fewer than half of you had actually completed the first post. That leaves a little bit of a disadvantage to the people who perhaps have to work today and other things that, they're kind of waiting the last minute. So I'm going to put an intermediary deadline in there of saying that you must make your initial post within 1 week, meaning that this module ends on February 10th, but on February 3rd I will have expected you to have made your initial post, and then your responses, your participation in responding to others is due by February 10th. And so you need to do both of those by those deadlines. And then the final bookkeeping issue, as of this reading, it is Monday before this will be posted, but I will probably not put the exam up, the test, over this information until I would hope by the end of the week, but I would say by Friday. My part of my reasoning is twofold. First off, you have 2 weeks, so you'll still have over a week to do it. I need to add a few questions and tweak a few things, so that's part of it. But additionally, that should give you sufficient time to take the exam as well as do it. So it will be up there by Friday. So if you come in and you don't see it, it will be there. You will still have plenty of time. You'll still have at least 10 days or 9 days to work on it. So, all right, those are all the bookkeeping issues. I wish you luck, and email me or contact me if you have any questions or concerns.